Rod Woodson, the Hall of Fame defensive back, will join us at the bottom of the hour. He is probably disappointed, heartbroken that the Ravens, one of the teams he played for back in the day, got beaten on Sunday and ended what looked, Rob, like it was going to be a magical season. And I am so disappointed in the Ravens. And I don't mean just because they lost.
No, I get it.
There's no
because I didn't
shame in
recognize
losing to
that
Patrick
team.
Mahomes. Thank you.
I'm with you, Chris, on this.
If you're going to lose, go out the way you go out, right? If I'm Steph Curry, I'm going to lose shooting threes. I'm not going to lose driving to the basket
and getting blocked.
Posted up all
exactly,
the time.
Right. I'm with you. I didn't. John Harbaugh, I know he doubled down and defended it, Chris, but what game plan that was made no sense. I saw a stat when they rushed the ball 25 times or more, 14-1. 16 rushes, Chris. What game
they
was that?
averaged 32 in the regular season, which led the league. They were the best rushing team in the NFL. Rob, I think when Kansas City, to its credit, when they marched down the field on those two opening drives, that was shocking. I mean, I was stunned. You can imagine how the Ravens felt. Rob, they had bullied Detroit. They had bullied both of the teams that were playing after them. Detroit and San Francisco. And here they are getting pushed all over the field. And I think their coaching staff said, we're not going to stop them. We're going to have to win a shootout. And they abandoned the run, Rob. It was, you're only down a touchdown. They abandoned the run.
It was 7-7. Well, Chris.
Well,
right?
and then, Kansas City marched down and scored again, so it was 14-7.
But I'm just saying, right? I mean,
but that was way too early. And your defense figured things out.
They pitched a shutout in the second half.
Yep. And so that was the first thing, Rob, is I think they completely lost their identity because they were panicked. Because here come the Chiefs. It's going to be a shootout. We got to start scoring. Secondly, Rob, I thought while the Chiefs showed championship character, I thought the Ravens showed the character of bullies. Because it was like they had bullied everybody. We talked about it all, week.
Right.
They bullied the best teams in the league. It was ridiculous what they were doing. And when they realized, in my view, that they couldn't do that to the Chiefs, that in fact they were the ones getting pushed around, it was like they said, okay, we're not going to beat you on the field, but we're going to beat you with some dirty shots. And they have 5 15-yard penalties, roughing the passer.
Killed you.
Rob on the field goal that Kansas City got to make it 17-7. 2 15-yard penalties.
Right.
Roughing the pass. Well, one, Kyle Van Noy headbutted Travis Kelce. Another, Travis Jones clothesline Mahomes. That was 30 yards in penalties on a drive that ended in a 52-yard field goal for
So
Kansas
just think
City.
if you don't have that, there's no field goal.
Don't get the field goal.
Exactly.
And then finally, Rob, and I ain't even mentioned Jadeveon Clowney, putting his helmet all up in Mahomes on the ground and all that. But Rob, the thing that bothered me the most, Kansas City won the game. I'm not taking anything away from them. They played well. But it was there for the taking.
Oh, big time.
I do think the way Mahomes has been playing, he would have led a drive or done something where they probably get the win. But beyond that, Rob, Zay Flowers, who is a great young player, and I like him a lot. But Rob, after that 54-yard reception puts them on the 10-yard line late in the third quarter, he gets a taunting penalty that 15 yards, drives him back to the 25. Why are you taunting?
It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. I'm with you.
Look, the rule is bad, but still, you're down 10.
That's a big play.
You've been getting your butts kicked all day, and what are you taunting about? That's like if I'm in a fight and somebody's destroying me, and I land a jab, and I start, see, I got you. No, come on. That, Rob, I think if he doesn't taunt, I think they score by the end of the third quarter.
And they would have been in that game for the taking.
You're down 3 going into the fourth. Come on.
There's no doubt about it, Chris. And I'm with you on this. That I didn't recognize that team. I did not. That's not the team that we've seen all year.
Right.
Beat all these playoff teams by 20. What was it? 23 points or more or whatever.
Averaged about 22, 23 points.
22 or 23. The defense, Chris. The defense gave up 16 and a half points. They gave up 17. They were right where, you know what I mean? They got it corrected. And they give up 17 points in a playoff game. That's a win.
When
Chris,
you average, I mean, the Ravens had averaged 34 over the last 11 games.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. And 17, you look like you can't come back from that. But the mistakes and the penalties and John Harbaugh like panicking and giving up right away for them, and I told you about it. You said they averaged 32 rushes, 16 rushes.
Yeah,
Chris, this wasn't
Rob, they averaged more than 5 yards a carry on their rushes.
Right. It doesn't even make it. It makes no sense. It would have been like totally, like if anybody had the right to freaking panic, it was the 49ers. You want to be talking about Chris being pushed around on the field. 24/7, the Lions were having their way with them.
Great point.
They couldn't do it. They couldn't stop the Lions. I texted some friends. Chris, I'm like, the game is over. If the Lions continue to run the ball and don't do anything stupid, right, they're going to win this game. Their 49ers could not stop the Lions.
You and I both picked the Niners. I was pulling for them to win. I thought it was over.
Did you?
I was like, you're not coming back from 24/7. I really thought. Obviously,
not the way the Lions were running the ball, though.
They got a chance. But, yeah, I mean, I think everybody but the Niners thought that thing was probably over. Another thing is this, Rob. And Lamar, he's going to get some heat. You know that. He's about to win his second MVP. And, yes, he played terrifically last week. But he was bad yesterday. The stats don't look as bad as he was.
No, he was
two
bad.
Critical turnovers.
And those cost him, throwing in the triple coverage. You can't do that, Chris.
Absolutely, Rob. That was a field goal waiting at least. They were at the 25-yard line. But here's the thing, Rob, and we all know Lamar has improved as a passer, and he's a very good passer now. But he ain't Patrick Mahomes. He ain't Tom Brady. He's not about to sit in the pocket and dissect most teams just as a pocket passer.
No, when he gets out,
to some degree, Rob, he's forgotten like what he does best. And I don't think he runs now as much to take it to the house as he used to. He runs like a typical quarterback now. I don't mean his ability
to get out of trouble, right?
Right,
to get out of trouble.
Like as a last resort, or he's looking to slide. As soon as I can get a slide. Rob, I thought that 20-yarder where he broke in the first quarter where they went for it on fourth down. And now I don't know if he could have pulled away from L'Jarius Sneed. But I feel like a few years ago, he would have tried to take that thing to the house. But on this one, he's looking back at Sneed kind of, almost somewhat waiting for him almost.
To tackle him, right?
Yeah. And it was like, Lamar, like.
Just keep going.
Yes, he's got to understand, yes, as well as you throw the ball now, you have a talent and a gift and an ability that no one else in the league really has. And so you have to use it still. And he's got to find, Rob, to me, that happy medium between, yes, I'm a pocket passer and I'm looking to throw, but I also am going to use my legs, to my event. Like Josh Allen does that.
No.
And he because Rob, like I thought a lot of those plays where Lamar extended and he, got away from the pass rush, but he's looking for a pass.
Instead of just going
upfield. It's like, dude, run.
And
Absolutely.
What's funny is that Brock Purdy made a couple of key runs, Chris, where it was open.
He ran. It was
open.
Know how to slide yet.
Right. No, he's gonna get hurt out there.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? Like he saw it was open and it killed the Lions. They were backbreakers.
Yep.
They were backbreakers.
You're absolutely right. I mean, Purdy was running for every last yard he can get. And Lamar is not doing that like he used to. And so I just thought, Rob, if I'm not going to take any credit away from the Chiefs, but the Ravens, it's terrible to get beat when you don't play your game.
Right. You get beat if the Chiefs come out there and they catch you on a night, Chris, and beat you. John Harbaugh questioned the game plan. If you know what
I wonder if that was the game. I wonder if it switched, and I don't know.
But
did it switch
from 32
when they went up?
32 carries to 16, Chris?
I know. It doesn't make any sense.
That don't make any sense. Not with as much time that was left in that game. You can't do that. It's 14-7. My God, really?
Right. And they're not. Look, the Chiefs. They were stuffing the run occasionally, but obviously the Ravens were also getting some big runs. Gus Edwards had like a 15-yard run. And then in the first quarter, Rob then doesn't touch the ball the rest of the half on a carry. Like
that makes no sense.
No, and they should have. You're absolutely right because the defense got it together. Rob, the last 8 possessions for the Chiefs, outside of that, even the last one ended on downs. But take away that last one where they ended up, running out the clock. The 8 previous possessions, the Ravens held them to a field goal.
That's unbelievable. Well, I'm serious.
They could have run on I think they could have, but they should have at least tried. The Chiefs' defense is legit, but still, they didn't even try to run on them for the most part. And that's just, I'm sorry. That is, Eric Mangini said on our show, First Things First today, Rob, he thinks ego got to the Ravens.
But see, that happens,
we're going to show you. Right. We're going to show you we can win with the pass. You think Lamar can only run and all that stuff. And other
that
ways
stuff happens. I think I told you this before. I covered a Lions Jets game, the last game of the season, Chris. The Jets needed to win the game to get into the playoffs, right? This was in Detroit at the old Silverdome.
Yeah.
And Bill Parcells was the coach of the Jets. And they're at the 1-yard line, Chris. I think Neil O'Donnell was the quarterback, whatever. Right? They need a touchdown. They need to get in, right, to get to the playoffs. On first down, Chris, they have a halfback option with a rookie running back who throws the ball into the end zone, Chris, for what? An interception.
Did that?
For an interception.
Wow.
And they lost the game, and I thought but that was ego.
Yep.
I'm going to show you I'm the smartest guy. You're at the 1-yard line. First down, run the ball in.
Rob,
what are you?
Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll.
In the Super Bowl.
Ego. Right? That's ego, Chris.
Yep. And that's where I really get upset because if that's a coach's ego, and I think this was coaches and players, but if it's just the coach, then you put, you may have cost, and you might look at Dan Campbell that way, but you may have cost 53 players a chance to advance. And so, yeah, it's tough. And Rob, you said it with the Lions. And look, the Ravens are always good. They're certainly going to be
right. They've been perennial, right? But
you never know, right?
Hey,
it's hard to get back, man.
We talk about it all the time. We talk about it. If you would have told me Aaron Rodgers wouldn't get back, wouldn't have believed it. If you would have told me, Chris, after Dan Marino threw 50 touchdowns his second year, that Miami would never get back. If you would have told me that Larry Fitzgerald never got back. They went to the Super Bowl one time. He was one of the all-time great receivers. I could go on and on. There's a ton of players. We don't even have enough radio time, Chris, to list all the players who didn't get a chance to go back.
No doubt. And, Rob, next year in the AFC, obviously Kansas City's not going anywhere. Cincinnati should be
Joe
back.
Burrow will be healthy, right?
The Chargers should be better. Houston may be better.
That's what I'm saying.
Obviously the AFC North is still. If Deshaun Watson, Rob, if he comes back playing well, Cleveland's going to be a handful. Who knows about Buffalo and Miami? I mean, it's going to be tough. This was a year that they had it clicking, and you had them at home.
No, you can't. You blew it,
and you blew it playing the way you don't even play.
Right.
That's the worst part of it. All right.